Hello, everybody. It is Monday, December 12th, and it is Season 1, Episode 3 of Let's Talk House. Fun little housekeeping note before we get started. Allen Tate Company Rock Hill office has been hanging out at the PRAR building in downtown Rock Hill for the past 7 months. And we are going to be moving back into our office this Thursday. So, very excited, very thrilled about that move. And PRAR has been most gracious and accommodating during the process. And so we just want to say thank you to them. And also, we won't be bringing in spouses or boyfriends or girlfriends. We've been told not to do that for the tours, but of course, if you guys want to buy a house, you can start coming in Thursday at 1 o'clock, I think it is, to get hooked up with one of the great agents working at Allen Tate Rock Hill. So, hey, everybody. All right, so I'm going to go on ahead and introduce Susan Catoe with Allen Tate Insurance. She is with me today, and thank you for having me, Susan.
Thanks for having me.
And I am just going to turn around to her, and I'm going to have her introduce herself and what she does with Allen Tate Insurance. And yay!
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks, Morgan. I appreciate you letting us be here today.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to remind everybody and explain to them, Allen Tate Insurance is an independent agency. We are not the insurance company. We're an agency that represents a number of different companies. North and South Carolina are our predominant states, and between the two states we have 10 to 12 different companies that we work with that do homeowners insurance, automobile insurance, boats, motorcycles, jet skis, pretty much anything that you can think of that needs insurance we can help with. That seems to be a big confusing point for a lot of people. They think that we are the insurance company when in fact we're a broker is probably a better term to describe it.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I do have a lot of clients that say, well, do they just do one company? I said, no, they do a lot.
Right.
So they can find the best price and the best coverage
right.
for the clients.
Right.
Awesome. Okay. So with that being said, I've had a lot of clients, whenever I do go to them and ask them, hey, who do you have for, who are you going to get for your homeowners insurance? And they say, oh, we already have so-and-so with so-and-so. They're really good. Why is it important to get a second opinion for insurance, whether it's car or home or even renter's insurance?
I think it's important because if you've had the same old for the last 2, 3, 4 years, even if it's only been 1 year, you owe it to yourself. Your life has changed. You're getting ready to go into a new situation. Mm-hmm. This is a perfect time to review and make sure that you're protected. When you buy a house, it's an added asset. You want to make sure you're protected so that you've got what you need in the event that something catastrophic happens, whether it's a liability issue, whether it's a property issue where there's a claim at the house. You want to know that you've got the right coverages so that you can be made whole when that situation arises.
Yeah, I love that. That's really good. Yeah, and whenever I bought my, when I refinanced my house, I went to Susan and she was able to save some money, which was awesome.
Right.
Who doesn't love saving money?
Right.
But also, I think my coverage got better after that. I've been lucky. I haven't had anything massive happen in my house, but Susan did save me money over the course, and I got better coverage for that. Right. So thank you, Susan.
You're very welcome.
I'm endorsing.
Yay!
Okay, so it's always good to get that second opinion for insurance, no matter who you're with. All right, so let's talk about actually getting homeowners insurance for your home purchase. When in the process should that really be done?
I would say that your customers need to start sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. It used to be in days gone by that they could put their homeowners insurance together 3 days before closing and everybody's happy and they close and everything's great. Mm-hmm. With all of the changes that have happened in the mortgage industry, which is part of what triggered it, you want to get your insurance put together sooner. Mm-hmm. Because they want all their documents put together. Mm-hmm. Probably about 3 weeks out from closing. They want to know that everything has been squared away.
Right.
So I tell people, when you're under contract, when that contract is accepted, that's when you should start making your phone calls, Of course, we work hand in hand with the realtors here at Allen Tate, so that typically we will reach out to those clients and say, hey, we're here. Let me assist. You don't have to use us. It's a free service. It's not anything that anybody else makes money on.
Right.
We are here to enable them to get to closing easier.
Right.
To make sure that everything is covered. So you and I work hand in hand. I may work hand in hand with the mortgage person, and between all of us, we get your buyer to closing in as smooth a transition as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. Let's see. Now, as far as renter's insurance, I know you guys offer that as well.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We are, like I said before, we offer all types of coverage. The renter's insurance, some people will say, oh, I don't need that. I don't have any stuff.
Yeah.
Well, George Carlin has a description of stuff, and we won't go there, but but when you're getting started and you get that first apartment or a second apartment, or you're getting on your feet financially and you're renting to get ready to buy a house, you still need to protect your belongings. You still need to protect your liability, because you're going to have a Christmas party. You're going to have people over for a cookout. Somebody can get hurt. They can slip and fall on some water or whatever that's spilled on the floor, and the next thing you know, you're being sued because somebody broke their arm.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things can do horrific damage to your finances. And that's what the insurance is about, is to protect you and to protect your assets.
Yeah, definitely.
So even in a renter situation, you absolutely should have it. And there's a lot of complexes now that require, before you move in, you have to show proof of having renter's insurance.
Right, exactly. Yeah. All right. So I liked this story that you told at our meeting a couple weeks back about jewelry, because I think a lot of people, it's engagement season.
Right.
I know it is. I think I've seen about 3 or 4 Facebook friends who have been engaged. Wendy Wynn, by the way, congratulations on your engagement. Yeah, I saw that one. Now, as far as getting jewelry and valuables, things that you don't really think about, getting insured. Could you share that story again?
Yeah, we did a little bit of a improvisational skit, but it was it was a little interesting when we had one of our group meetings. But what it boils down to is, in the homeowners policy, whether it's a renter's policy, a condo policy, or a full-fledged single home policy, there's a limitation as to what's going to be covered in the event of theft when it comes to jewelry. Jewelry in South Carolina, and North and South Carolina are a little bit different, but jewelry in South Carolina is limited to $1,000. So honey buys you that pretty diamond ring, and you don't put it on your insurance policy, and then you go and wave your hands, or you're cheering at a Panthers football game and the ring goes flying. There's not a lot of coverage that's going to replace that ring unless you insure it separately. You put it on a rider, a specific description, a specific stated amount. Obviously there's a cost to it, but it's not really very expensive at all. And then no matter what's happened to it, it's going to be covered.
Right.
So you lose it at the beach, somebody steals it. I mean, unfortunately, while this being engagement season, it's also break-in season.
Right.
And lots of people like the things that you have and think that they should have them.
Right.
So they're going to come in, they're going to clean out the jewelry box, and your ring or your diamond earrings or the Rolex watch. And it doesn't even have to be high dollar things, just nice items. Yeah. And they're going to be gone, and there won't be a lot of coverage in that policy to replace them.
Right. So if you like it, then you should have put a policy on it.
Right. Very good. Yep, that's it.
I like that. And as a side note, just as from an agent's perspective, not a lot of sellers think about this. Seller tip is that before you put your house on the market, hide your things.
Absolutely.
Hide your things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Some of the houses we know have cameras. The security system comes with cameras.
Yep.
But by all means, never leave jewelry out, never leave the prescription drugs out, all those things that could really cause a problem in the house. Even if somebody's just casing the joint for later, you know, you just don't want to leave it laying around.
Exactly. So. Just don't do that. So we're going to open it up to questions really quick. See if anybody has any questions. We'll hold it out really quick. I am going to read some of the comments as far as insurance, and this is from Brian Wetzel with Housemaster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He is saying, and I'm sure that you can agree with this, before due diligence is up in North Carolina, most definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. In the event, insurance will not insure the house based on electrical or plumbing concerns.
Right.
Yeah.
When there are older houses, most of the insurance companies are going to ask for verification of updates to the roof, the heating, the electrical, the plumbing. Those are the four big ones.
Yeah.
Some companies, if the roof is more than 15 years old, they won't insure the house.
Yeah.
Because it's already taken a beating in several hailstorms, and we all know that we've had 2 really big storms in the last 5 years.
Right.
So if the roof wasn't replaced then chances are it's going to be in questionable shape. Now, that's not to say that all of them are, but the granule stuff on the roof is going to be missing.
Yeah.
Shingles are going to be curling and lifting. And to the insurance company, when they take on that policy, in their mind, they are buying a claim. Right. Yes, we'll sell you a policy for $700.
Yeah.
But now we're looking at the possibility or the probability in the next year or two that we're going to pay out up to $10,000 for a roof. That's not smart business sense. So they want those things, they want to know that those things have been verified and updated, because they want the property to be one that's maintained.
Right.
Not just, you know, somebody lived in it and never did any improvements to it.
Right.
You know, because it's just not a good situation for anybody.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. That's actually a really good tip. I've had a couple of clients in the past, you know, that the roof was just bleh.
Right.
And
right.
Yeah.
I have one right now.
Yeah.
Cute little house. Roof looks great till you come around to the backside, and the pictures on the backside, you can see all the shingles are starting to curl up. So the insurance company is asking for some verification.
Yeah.
So we're working on that one.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for that prompt, Brian. That was very insightful. Thank you, sir. Doesn't look like anybody has any questions, which is interesting. But anyway, now just for kicks and giggles, and I should have done this with Peggy, but I know she had to run off to the next appointment. But why should we use Susan? What makes Susan the best insurance agent? Now, I have my own reasons, but besides just being affiliated with Allen Tate Company, but I love you as a person.
Thank you.
And I will say this, and this, she's not paying me to say this, by the way.
No.
Yeah, this is a totally free show, but what I like about Susan is, first off, whenever I have my buyer clients, she'll go on ahead and reach out to them, which I really like, just to make that introduction. And I do like that. She's also very good with communicating, always picks up the phone, always full of life, no matter what day she's having.
Even on Mondays.
Yeah, even on Mondays, exactly. So what do you say, Susan? What sets you apart from the other insurance agents out there? I know.
Well, the first thing I would say is that there's good and bad in all industries, and the same is true in the insurance industry. I love what I do. It's a career that has been very good to me and to my family. Was not what I ever thought I was going to do in life. But 31 years later, you know, it's brought me from Florida to North Carolina. It's taken care of my family. My goal is always to let that client know that I'm going to do absolutely the best thing that I can for them. If it fits their needs, great, then we all win. But my promise is always that if I can't put them in a better spot, I'll be the first one to tell them that. If they have a policy that's good and it's a reasonable price, because while it's not all driven on price, that is part of the equation.
Yes.
And you can't say that it's not. You know, we'd all love to live in a $500,000 house, but we can't all afford a $500,000 house mortgage payment.
Right.
And the same is true with the insurance. There comes a point where you need somebody to give you the good and the bad and the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do, is make sure they're in a spot that they're getting the best coverage that they can get for the money that they can spend. If they've got a good policy and they just need to tweak a couple of things, I've done this. And I'll tell them, take this back to your agent and tell them that you want A, B, and C. See what that does to your premium. See what their response is to you about it.
Right.
And then you let me know. And a lot of times they'll come back and they'll say they don't want to do that, or it was going to cost way too much money. They'll come back to us, or they'll come back and they'll say, you know what, I appreciate your honesty. We took care of it, everything's good, but I'm going to make sure that if I ever need anything, I'm going to call you first. Right. So when you take care of the customer, they always come back to you, no matter what. So that's what my goal is to make sure they know we're here to offer an honest, upfront review, and then we'll take it from there.
Exactly. I love it.
So that's who I am. I can't make it up.
Yeah. That's who Susan is, and that's why I love me some Susan. I'm going to, of course, I got a card right here, and look at that. Aww. So I am going to take a screenshot of this. If you guys are shopping around insurance, I highly recommend Susan Catoe with Allen Tate Insurance. She is phenomenal. She's fun, and even though, and I think we can address the elephant in the room. Insurance is not exactly the most fun thing to talk about, but it has been fun talking to you today, and she makes the process fun.
I'll be the first one to say that insurance is a necessary evil.
Yes.
But you love it or you hate it, and when you need it, it's the best thing ever.
Exactly. So don't wait until the last minute to get insurance, and take care of yourself and your valuables and each other. Spay and neuter your pets.
That's right.
But thank you, Susan, for coming on the show. Appreciate it. And next week, here we go. I'm going to turn this around. Next week, we are going to have a home stager. So get ready for that. She's going to be giving some tips on selling your house a little bit faster, just some quick home staging tips, do's and do nots. And then also she's going to talk about her home staging business. So I will see you guys next Monday, 2 o'clock, right here live on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. And this is Morgan with Allen Tate in Rock Hill. Thank you very much.